There's this idea that if you just work hard enough, everything will start to fall into place. But if you've ever actually built something, you know that's not how it works. Because sometimes the more you do, the heavier it feels. Your time gets pulled away, your attention gets split, and you start asking yourself, why does this feel harder than it should? Welcome back to From Stuck to Scaling. I'm Tricia Drake, and today we're talking about what it actually looks like to build a business in real life. And I've got Julie Anglesey here. She's built a business in one of the most demanding, always-on industries while still building a life around it. Julie, I'm really glad you're here.
Thank you. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. I really am. This is awesome. So, Julie, you are a real estate agent. Tell us more about you.
Well, I started in 2007 in real estate. I had been running our family's business, which is Mountain River Ranch in the Ryrie area I actually started in 97. My dad handed over the reins. I signed a lease with him. It was either that or he was selling it. And I said, you know what, I can make this work. So did that for about 22 years. Overlapped a little bit, started the real estate part of things. It was a little more part-time at the time. And then we sold that business in 2019. And that's when I thought I'm going to go full bore and decided to partner with a great friend who I have a great deal of respect for to bring the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services brand to Idaho Falls. And so that's kind of where that really started to escalate.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so you mentioned 2019 is when you were like, let's go. So you launched your brokerage right at the peak of the market. Then what happened? I mean, how did you handle that crazy year? 2019, 2020, 2021? What did that look like?
So I actually got licensed in 2007,
okay,
which was the worst possible time I could ever be licensed. And yes. I had a friend who was my broker, and he encouraged me to get involved. So I got really involved in leadership. I obtained a ton of designations, which is basically higher education in real estate. If people have, we call it like alphabet soup after their name, that means they've actually gone the extra mile beyond the 90 hours that's required in the state.
Okay.
And I got super involved. And then, of course, because we went through 8, 9, 10, 11, and there were a couple of those years I didn't sell anything. And I thought, well, I will be ready. When this comes back strong, I'll be ready. Mm-hmm. And that was just the most incredible advice I could ever be given. And so also, I'm a hard worker. I mean, I'm not afraid to dig in. And
right.
So yeah, that was kind of where that was. And then when we started this business in 21, the brokerage, it was actually 21. So there was a year in between, a couple of years in between. I found that I had the relationships that I had, basically worked hard on. It was steady for me. Mm-hmm. It was steady for me even through the boom of the 2021. And I feel really fortunate that it was like, okay, this is a relationship business. So, and if I always hold to those values, I think that there's no downfall.
I love that. I love that. Talking about really like your niche a little bit with that. The relationships matter. It's more than just, hey, I'm a real estate. An agent, right? Everybody's going to come, and because I'm their friend and they're going to do this. And if I, kick ass on my social media, right? Everybody's going to flock to me. It's a little bit different than that. It's knowing who your target market is, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly who you should be, portraying yourself to, hanging around with, mm-hmm. all those type of things. So I'm sure that's helped. So we talked about like the good years, right? And then all of a sudden, interest rates double.
Yeah. What
happened to your business?
Well, it didn't affect me a lot, which I feel really fortunate. I do remember in 2022, so it was just crazy. People would stick a sign in the yard and then they just are like, boom, sold, multiple offers. And then it was about June of 2022, I had a closing and the client said, can you please do a CMA right now? Mm-hmm. And I said, are you planning on selling this? And I said, because stuff's changing right now and we're watching it real time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to, change the way we look at things. And people were still buying and selling. Life still happens. No matter what's going on right now, people are kind of freaked out about, we have this war, interest rates, all these things, but people are still moving for jobs. They're still needing to downscale, upscale, whatever, getting divorced, whatever the reason. Life is happening, and so real estate will constantly happen, and it forces us to sharpen our skill set, frankly. It forces us to be better. It forces us to always put the client first, which we should. I mean, this is a relationship business. With AI right now, everyone's saying, oh yeah, you're gonna get forced out. AI is gonna take over. You won't have a job. Well, I'll tell you what, AI can't replace basically the relationship part of it, the feeling, how you make people feel. It will never replace that. Yes, it makes us better for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I never used AI for anything, cheat on emails or anything like that. No, it really does. It does. So Julie, I have something to admit to you. One time I tried to sell my own house. Hopefully we caught that look on camera. And I mean, one of the worst things that I ever tried to do, like it was absolutely horrific. And I wasted so much time. And then I got smart. I hired an agent and literally, I think we sold the house within a month, but it had been on the market. Well, I'd been on the market. I didn't know what I was doing. And so now with real estate agents, to me, they're absolutely priceless. But it's more than like, how can I say this best? It's more than what you can do for me. It's like, you know what you're doing. I hired you because you're the person that's going to do what needs to be done. I literally had no idea what I was doing. I probably got way more out of the house than I would have on my own. How often does that happen to you when people are like, I tried this on my own and it didn't work. Come help me.
Oh, it happens a lot. It's actually, it's one of those things. It's like, sometimes people come to me and they're like, hey, can you give me a value of my house? And it's like, oh, we're going to sell it. If we can't sell it, we'll come back to you. And it does happen a lot. It's because, I mean, people think it's not a big deal. It's kind of there's so much behind the scenes in what we do. It isn't, throw it on the MLS and walk away. Right. It's just not that. And especially right now, because we are finally in a balanced market. So it's been so seller, dominant, and now we're in more of a balanced market, and people actually have to work. They have to market, but there is just so much to it. There is, the negotiating, let's get the house prepared, the professional photography, right, all the things that go with it, all along the way, the inspection, the title commitment, everything. Just so much more than people realize.
Yeah. I was surprised at how much I didn't know, and it kind of brings it back. Like, that's why we look for people who are good at what they do, right? Especially when you're running your own business. Mm-hmm. We talk about that a lot, especially with EOS, right? Making sure we have the right people in the right seats, saying, I'm really good at this. This is my strength. So I'm going to stay in my lane.
Yes. But
then maybe I'm not very good at accounting. I probably need to hand that off to someone else, right? Okay. So home life, it works too. I'm not really good at fixing my car either. Why should I bother to try? It's going to cost me more money. It's going to take longer. I can just take it to a trusted professional. And so same with my house. So yes. I learned a hard lesson. I learned a very hard lesson that I will never, I don't have to repeat it because I know exactly what I'm going to get when I hire a professional. So now you did mention earlier that you have a co-founder with the brokerage, right? Yes. So Tracy, so she's 280 miles away, right? In Boise. Mm-hmm. So statistics show that most real estate partnerships actually fail. What do you guys do different? Why does this work for you guys, especially so far apart? What does that look like?
So I met Tracy Casper when I was the local association president and she was the state president. And we just clicked. We're both very driven. Mm-hmm. We have a strong work ethic. Both of us are really lousy at self-care and taking vacations and all that kind of stuff. And she came to me a couple different times, how is it going? Do you want to change, this kind of thing? And I wasn't in a place for that. And then And then when she finally did come to me and say, hey, I want to bring Berkshire Hathaway Home Services to Idaho Falls, it was just like, I couldn't say yes fast enough. It was the right fit, the right brand, and to be partners with her is huge. I mean, she's also been the National Association of Realtors president. And so we both share a passion for moving this industry forward. We are both like that. Leadership means the world to us, to not only make our own businesses strong, but to bring other agents up too. Because I mean, frankly, the real estate industry is tough. It is a very low barrier of entry, but a very high barrier to success. And so to me, like, I always want agents to be better. Like whatever I can do to make that happen is important to me. But yeah, so we have a ton of stuff in common. We talk a lot. We meet every week, and yeah, she's incredible. It was really one of the greatest blessings for me.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Okay, so you mentioned being president of the Idaho Realtors Association, right? So you represented how many agents?
So there's 12,000 agents in Idaho. 12,000
agents. So they look to you as their guiding light, right? The person leading the charge. So a question for you on that. What was one policy fight that you led that most people would be shocked to learn about? Like, what happens behind the scenes with all of that stuff?
Well, I think probably the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand that we do in leadership, and there's a lot of realtors in every market throughout the state who are highly involved. Okay. We have at Idaho Realtors, we have a government affairs director. His name's Max Pond, and he is at the Capitol every day during the session, and he's created outstanding relationships. We are so lucky, and we are one of the biggest PACs, frankly. Yep. I think there's a lot of people don't understand that being in real estate isn't about showing pretty houses alone. It's the advocacy. Without it, we would not have jobs, frankly. I am a major investor in our PAC. It is important to me. I see the value in it. And frankly, what I give helps others as well who are not giving, but I'm happy to do it. But it is very policy driven. We are, my platform last year was to raise the bar of professionalism. That was huge to me. We did put together what it's called the IRIS, the Idaho Realtors Integrity Seal. And so basically what we're doing is pushing for agents to obtain this through classes, through community service, and then you would have a pin that shows that you have this, and it would be marketed to the public. So it's like, do you want to work with an agent who has the IRIS, which was a cool thing. Our Leadership Academy took the idea and ran with it, and they brought it to life, and that's a really exciting thing for me. And also, I mean, we work with our Real Estate Commission very closely. Okay. They are our governing board, basically the laws, that we live by. And I mean, frankly, I don't think 90 hours is enough. And I did want that to be raised, and I will probably keep nudging that, hopefully, maybe. But I mean, on a positive level, our governor, we are the least regulated state in the nation. And I mean, and for the most part, that is a great thing. But I think sometimes from a consumer protection level, I think there are some things that we could probably improve on. And that's one of them. I think we should have a little more education to obtain it and to keep it, frankly, because more education makes you better, right? And so those are kind of some of the things I think that the public doesn't understand that we're doing. Like we had a number of wins this session from, we had a short-term rental bill that Idaho Realtors put together, actually, and there's a handful of municipalities that have been trying to sort of control what private property owners are doing with their properties, trying to it's a little overreaching on short-term rentals. So we worked on that. We're working also on affordability. As you know, I mean, Idaho is in the top 5 fastest growing states. Yes. And all of those states, if you look at them, they're all less regulation, a lower cost of living. However, if someone, if you talk to people, they're like, it's not affordable to live in Idaho, housing wise anyway.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're trying to address some of these things. And so, yeah, it's politics may not be your thing, but if you're in real estate, you better at least pay attention or at least send the money so someone else can.
So yeah, someone else can fight the fight for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, picking the right person for the right seat.
Yes.
Send your money and we'll fight the good fight for you. I love that.
Yep.
All right. So now Eastern Idaho homes, right? We just talked about a little bit about affordability. The home prices have maybe doubled in the last 5 years, do you think?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
I mean, we're, I want to say probably 65 to 70%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's for last month, the median range was in Bonneville County 434.
Okay.
And that's at average square feet at 2,600.
Wow.
So it is,
Okay.
It's pretty crazy. It's definitely changed a lot. I built in 21. I have an interest rate of 2.75. Sorry. A lot of people are jealous about that,
Yes.
but it is, yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too, is that a lot of people are not willing to move now.
Correct.
Because they're like, why would I trade this great interest rate for 6 something?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard.
It is hard. We moved 2 years ago and I'm paying that and it's rough. We left a 2 and we got a 6 and, in those terms, that's not a good thing.
No.
Right? Not a good thing.
No.
So with the home prices being that, with the interest rates being a little higher, they are kind of dropping a little bit. They're kind of fluctuating a bit probably. But what's the biggest lie that people are telling themselves about the market right now?
The biggest lie, I think, is, I'll hear people who do a lot of research and they're always listening and saying it's going to crash. And Idaho is solid. I mean, we are so fortunate. Obviously we're growing, but we're really solid. I think we're lucky to have basically good leaders in our state who are paying attention to how we're managing this growth. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably the biggest lie. It's like, it's going to crash. It's not going to crash. I mean, there are definitely other states that, we always joke around that Gavin Newsom, Realtor of the Year for a lot of years. Right. He's pushed a lot of people over here.
Everybody else. Yeah.
And those are people, the Californians that come over are like-minded. Mm-hmm. Whether the public wants to believe that or not, they are like-minded or they wouldn't come here because they wouldn't be comfortable. Right. And right now Washington is just passed this millionaire tax.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, people are fleeing like crazy who are in that bracket. Mm-hmm. And there were some stats this morning that I heard about. It was like, I want to say like every so many days, like 5 people move out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because, and I always say, well, maybe you have to worry about how you're voting, because that can affect a lot.
It's true. Yes, it definitely can. Oh my goodness. Yeah. People say, don't California, Idaho, right? But yeah. I met a lot of people that moved here. I'm also a transplant and very like-minded and it's great. So, I mean, Idaho is amazing. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And maybe you agree with me on this one, maybe you don't, right? Progress is going to happen whether we want it to or not.
Yes.
And I think when you start to over-regulate and do those kind of things, that's when it starts to get a little funky for the people who live here. So, we hear a lot of stuff all the time. Traffic's getting bad. Oh, they're building too much multifamily. Oh, this and all that. But man, this is such a beautiful state. And I think there's room for everybody.
Yes.
Ish.
Yes.
Sort of, maybe. All right. No, that's good. So you talked a little bit before about how your family ran the Mountain River Ranch until you guys sold it in 2019, you said. Okay. So what, in keeping with talking about how, you feel like real estate agents need to, have the professional development, extra certifications, all of those things, I'm sure negotiation comes into that a lot. So what do you feel running the ranch? How did that help you prepare for this career that you have now?
Well, actually, it's even though they seem different, hospitality is a natural for real estate, really. So we did, my husband and I, and also our kids, they all work there. We did everything. I did everything from, booking reservations to, cleaning to cooking to the finances. My husband drove a team of horses. He also cooked. We were on stage. We put together shows. We did everything. And frankly, when we went to sell it, it was funny because it was like, wow, I don't know if I want to spend this money for this job that you're about to give me. But,
Right.
but I just learned so much about a lot of things, first of all. But the most important thing that I learned that I could bring to real estate was that when people showed up, our slogan was great food, fun, and hospitality.
Okay.
So, and my dad would talk about this, about how we have these different components. The food has to be outstanding. The atmosphere has to be perfect, which we were lucky because it's by high sea and it's gorgeous. View of the bluffs and the rivers close by.
Yeah.
And then obviously it needs to be fun. And people need to feel good. And so to me, the biggest thing that comes over is, how did you make someone feel? So when they show up, it's like, welcome. And then, we have fun all night, whether it's at their expense or at ours. We're laughing, we're having fun. And then at the end of the night, we're saying, thank you so much for coming. And we can't wait to see you again. And frankly, real estate's the same way. If you are, going to just sort of turn and burn a relationship, that person is not going to look to you toward the future. And I feel very strongly that it's all relationship based. It's, there are different philosophies. Cold calling has never been mine. Like, I'm kind of a golden rule person. It's like, I don't want people to do that to me, so I'm not going to do it. So that's, to me, is how do you make people feel at the end of the day? It's relationship based. I mean, it's a great career for that. If you are willing to empathize, I feel like empathy, discipline, and a good work ethic, you'll be a great real estate agent.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did we make them feel? That's the perfect outcome marketing statement. How does this whole thing feel? That's awesome. I love that. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. All right. So, that's a great segue into my next question. So your Facebook page, right, which is awesome. You have about 1,000 followers, right? Pretty decent, not a million, whatever. That's not really the point, because you are one of the top producers in Idaho with your brokerage and with your agency. So how does that relate? Because people now are like, oh, social media, right? It's the place to go. That's where we are. That's what we're doing right here. But with you, it's kind of different. So how do you see that disconnect? But what does it mean more for you in your agency? What do you think that means for you?
Well, I have to say, I should be better at it. I should care more about where it's going. I'm bad, and I think that reflects my age a little bit. But I've just always felt that that's why I've been in leadership. That's why that I do the things that I do, that I like to be involved in our community, because you will work with someone that you know and you like and you trust, right? And so to me, yes, I should be better at that. Frankly, it's just is not my bag so much. And I don't know I don't really want to have listings pushed in my face. Like, if I follow somebody that's a friend that's a real estate agent, like, I don't want to just see that. I want to see life, right? And so my business page, yeah, it could be better, but I am very relationship driven. I know agents all across the country. And then my clients will refer their relatives and friends. And so that's kind of how that building goes. Frankly, it's so funny is when I have a new client, I never particularly ask them to be friends on Facebook until the experience is over. Like, I want to know about them. And of course I want them to know about me, but it's not about me in my personal life. It's about them. Like, I want to know what makes them tick. And so that helps our experience and helps me kind of uncover what it is that they want to find.
I really love that. So I've known you for a couple of years now. not too long, but it's been amazing getting to know you a little bit more. And the one thing that I know is that I can see is that part of you. Like we start in a conversation about real estate and like you light up and I can tell that you're passionate. I feel like I do the same thing a little bit. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm EOSing that person to death. Like I'm so passionate about it. And they're like, what? How did we get on this subject about right people, right seed or whatever, right? But that's what I love about you. And I can see it in your dealings with other people. We had the Home Builders Association trade show, the Builders Expo last week, and watching you work the room and talk to people and see that. You can tell when people are involved in their community that people notice that. You're not just there for what's in it for me, right?
Yes.
It's what's in it for the builders, the people, my clients.
Yeah.
And so I love that. That to me, that's something that shows. And, taking the 1,000 Facebook followers, somebody might say, oh, maybe she's not the best agent. No, she's actually so awesome that she doesn't have time to run her Facebook page and get more followers. So I love that. Okay, so yesterday we had a conversation about weird things that you find in people's hotel rooms, right? We're both in the hospitality business for a long time. I used to run some timeshare things. And what's the weirdest thing that you've ever found during a home showing?
So I don't have anything crazy spectacular. I've definitely seen outhouses on properties, legit outhouses. I've definitely seen rotary phones, and I could have first-time home buyers like, wow, look at how we used to do this. But there's other things on, it's so funny. People in the office or whatever, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I showed this house today and somebody was sleeping. Like someone forgot to tell them there was a showing or other random toys, it's like, you never know.
You never know. Oh, so what's one thing that someone should absolutely do before you come in to show their house? What's the last thing they need to do before they walk out the door?
Well, they definitely need to put away the things they don't want people to see, for sure.
Okay.
But I mean, we always tell people, turn all the lights on, make it appealing, obviously.
Right.
And, there's certain things. You don't want your medications out, your guns and things like that. But yeah, there's a certain amount that is like, wow, it seemed like common sense to me, but maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much. Maybe make the bed.
That's huge.
Would be great.
Huge. That's huge. Or, you did your laundry, you've got, your own vegetables all hanging in the laundry room. Let's put those away.
Nobody needs to see your underwears.
No.
Okay. So, a long time ago, I don't know, maybe I heard this, but do homes sell better when you cook cookies? Like you're doing an open house, do you normally have it smell really good? Like it smells like home or cookies or comfort food?
Well, I think so. Okay. I mean, definitely beats air fresheners everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that says, what are you covering? And nobody, and you detect that just like that.
Yeah.
But actually, people do ask a lot, like, what's going to be the best return on investment?
Okay.
And honestly, the two most important things are a deep clean and painting. Like, you don't notice your own filth. You absolutely do not. You just don't. You don't notice door jams. You don't notice windowsills. You don't notice this stuff until somebody else takes a step back and says, whoa, I just want you, and decluttering, obviously. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how those things, a neat yard, you walk up, it's not like hoses are laying around and kids' toys. It's like neat. You just mowed it. It's, it's clean. Whether the person is going to carry that on or not, they want a house that looks perfect, even if maybe their own doesn't look that way. I have noticed that a lot with first-time home buyers. They're drawn, every buyer is drawn to, this looks perfect. And that's just how it needs to be. And a lot of times that means paring down 50% of your house.
Yeah.
You're moving anyway. Pack it.
Let's go. Get it out of there.
Yeah.
So decluttering, deep clean, and a fresh coat of paint.
Yes. Those are the biggest things that honestly, even a dated house would still sell reasonably well if those things are done.
Those things are done.
Yes. Because it's like to redo a kitchen in a lot of instances is just, it's too much money for the return in some cases.
Yeah.
And so it's not always something that I would recommend.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good. So if my basement is not done right now, I shouldn't just hurry and try to finish my basement.
No.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I just saved myself a lot of money. There you go. All right. Okay, so you've recently rediscovered the joy of traveling, right?
Yes.
Right. All right. So what's your guilty pleasure that would surprise people about you?
Well, I mean, aside from my newfound idea that vacations are cool, a perfect day of reward for myself is I'm going to take myself out to lunch at Taco Bell, and then I'm going to hit a local nursery, and I am just going to immerse myself in the smell. I love to garden. It's my favorite thing on earth. And of course I love the sunshine, and I will be in the sunshine till I can no longer. So those are kind of it's like gardening, cheap, what's good food. I have decided it's good for me, whether anyone agrees or not. And then the sunshine, honestly, it is. Those are things that just light up my world.
I love that.
I don't know if they're guilty. Those are all good things, right?
They are good things. I don't know. Maybe the Taco Bell. I'm not sure I would admit that, but it's okay.
Hey, $4.22 gets lunch.
Cheap date.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I know I don't know, was it last week or the weekend before? It was so nice. And we were both excited that we could go out and deadhead the stuff from the winter so the new stuff would grow.
Yes.
It's a thing. It's a thing. I love nature. I love the dirt and working in it. It's so good for you too. I don't know. I heard, I read this somewhere, right? When you're working in the dirt, you're releasing, there's, chemical and smells, probably not chemicals, but like, what am I trying to say? Stuff from the earth and the smells, and it's like dopamine and serotonin and good things for your body. And that's why a lot of people really love like getting their hands in the dirt. I don't know.
I believe that. I truly believe that. I mean, it's not for everybody. I would volunteer to weed people's gardens. That's because I enjoy it. I really do. I won't be able to walk the next day, but
I am the same way, man. Yeah. So me and my husband never argue ever. But if we do, I'll go outside and I'll take it out on the weeds, So I love yard work. So That's awesome. What's the best thing that you ever spent money on that's personal and not business related?
So I want to say diamonds, but that is really self-serving. And so I'm not going to say that, even though I love Ingram's. It's one of my favorite places also. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, going back to this like travel thing. Mm-hmm. So I have realized in this year, because my word is intention.
Okay.
And so I have spent more time saying, okay, you do need to be better at self-care. So with that, we did take 2 trips this year, and it's the most I've vacationed outside of leadership for real estate in years. And I was reluctant. I thought I won't be able to enjoy myself, and it was soul filling. And then the second trip that I took though was with family, and it made me realize that I want that. I want that more often.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that. When you have adult children, right? And they're starting their own families and there's that. But yeah, like that feeling of it's our clan and we're all still together and we can get along. And I love that so much. A sad thing to admit to you is that my son said that the other day. I miss the trips that we used to take. Because we used to go as a family, right? And we would go to Disneyland. We did all sorts of trips. My parents absolutely love vacation. That's the best legacy they ever could have left me, was their love of vacation and not really like, hey, we're going to go to this awesome place and we're going to see these cool things. It's like, we're going to do that, but we're going together. Yes. And we're going to make these memories that last forever. And, my mom was really good about picture taking. Most moms are, right? Yes. Picture taking and scrapbooking and at least printing the pictures and putting them in a book. And we have so many memories, and it's so amazing that just the way that you can come together and see each other like every day, right? You're immersed with them almost 24/7, right? Because didn't you guys rent a bigger house?
We did.
When you went on the
we
trip?
did.
Okay.
And it was so fun. And we laughed so hard. I came back and my ribs kind of hurt. I was just like, this was so refreshing. Like because we have a daughter in Boston and a son in Houston, and then our other 2 daughters are here. So we see 50% of them a lot, but it was just so fun for all of them to be together and with their spouses and significant others. And it was just amazing. And we have 2 grandsons and 2 babies on the way. And so life's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
So it was incredible.
That's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. When I married Mike, I became an instant grandma, which is totally fine with me. Because man, grandkids are so much fun.
Yes.
They are so much fun. I love them all. Oh my gosh. And we have another one on the way that we're really excited about. So I think that makes 8, which is completely awesome. So my son, Nicholas, needs to just get on the bandwagon and have some babies and do the fun things. So no, that's really awesome. So your word intention, how do you use that through the day? Is there something that you do that might make you think of the word, or is there a ritual that you have to make sure that you're using your word intention as part of your day?
So I don't have something very specific. The whole reason for this particular word is that I kind of have found myself just sort of, going through things thinking I'm just going to take it in through osmosis and I'm not going to pay attention. I've definitely noticed I have a little attention deficit disorder in the last few years, worse than ever. And so it's like I'm doing 99 things at once. And so I've had to say, okay, stop. Were you even listening to what they just said? Whatever that was, it's like you have to start focusing on what it is that you're doing, what you're saying, what you're listening to, rather than trying to do it all at the same time. And so that was the reason for this word, is that, slow down, take in life, look at the flowers, pay attention to what's happening in nature and those around you, especially those you care about, and pay attention to what's happening in their world. So that's why, is that I just felt like I was just like too many things at once.
Yeah.
So
that makes total sense. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are like that. Maybe they feel like they have to be everything to every person, especially trying to figure out your target market. Or like, anybody can be my client. And then you're focusing on, 20 billion people in the world. I don't know how many people there really are in the world, but you can't be everything to every person.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, especially as women, we feel that way. We feel like we have to pick each other, we have to pick up the slack from our kids or whatever that might be, or everybody else in our business or something like that. And I feel like that's a really great tip for people. Step back and look at what you're spending your time on, and how that can maybe better serve you in life so that you can actually make a bigger impact.
Agreed. I completely agree. It's like when, there's only so much time. And so when we choose the things we want to do, it's like, okay, is this going to bring joy?
Right.
Like, is it something that is going to make me a better person? Is it something that's going to make me laugh? Is it something that I'm going to take away and say, I'm glad I did that? Yeah. I mean, that's truly, we do a lot of things in Idaho Falls. We do a lot of things in Mountain America Center. We try to do a lot of things in Symphony. So we do a lot of things in our community. And then, I'm on a couple of city committees and those but I'm doing it because, not just for business, it's because I want to be a better person and I want to give back to my community. I want to enjoy it. And I encourage anyone in any business, especially in real estate. I've had very introverted agents at different points, and I've said, you need to find what you love. Those are your people.
Yeah.
Whether if you're quiet, join a book club. Do things that make you thrive, and then it shows.
That is excellent advice. That is really good. I love that so much. I think that goes back to, don't force yourself to do something that you're going to hate to try to get a result.
Mm-hmm.
Turn around and see how you can make it intentional to be like, oh, I'm going to go to the book club and meet new people. Possibly it might affect my business in a good way. But if not, I'm doing something that I love with people that I like.
Yeah.
And I love that so much. That you would think that wouldn't be an aha moment, but it kind of is for me. That was an aha moment for me. So I really need to find more people that like to golf and are very patient with people who can't golf very well. And then I can go be on the golf course all the time. That's what I need to do. Yeah, anyway. What would you say to someone who is looking to get into real estate, to be an agent? What would be the best piece of advice you would give to them?
Well, I would have to say, so not to scare someone right up front, but the failure rate within the first 2 years is 70 to 85%.
Wow.
So with that said, and the reason for this actually is because they don't have any idea how to get clients, which that's like what lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
They don't treat it like a business. It's, I've had this flexible scheduled mindset versus a business building mindset.
Okay.
And then basically underestimate the cost of it and when you get your first paycheck. So what I would always say, how much money have you saved? When you go out to look for a brokerage to be in, you need to consider, you're brand new, what kind of training are they offering? Like, because to me, that is critical. Like, my greatest mentors were brokers who were big into training. And I am a big into training. Tracy's big into training. And so I think it's really important. I just recently took on my daughter as my assistant a year ago, and she's a quick learner and she's done a phenomenal job, but I haven't had her write a single contract in a year. And the reason for that is because I want her to understand every aspect of the business. She's already taken all of her continuing ed ×3.
Yeah.
And I want her to understand why we do what we do. And then I'm going to be deep dive into the technical part of things, because our contracts, they are a huge part of the negotiation. There are sections throughout that are contingency based. And if you miss those, or you didn't tighten it where it needs to be tightened, or protect your client, that's where you get into, basically legal trouble. So, but my biggest advice is that to get so much education and to meet other agents. It's a most unique industry in that we get together as competitors. Right. We have, association luncheons, and we're all in a huge board of directors for Idaho Realtors. We do things together all the time. But some of that is like masterminding. It's like, okay, what do you want to learn about this or that? And we exchange ideas. And frankly, I will give anyone any kind of advice. My own agents, I'm constantly saying, hey, guess what I learned today? And I want you all to know it, because I want you to be better. Yeah. And I mean, not because that helps me personally, but it's because I do have a passion for mentoring and making people better at their job. I mean, at the end of the day, it affects me because it's my industry. True. But I want to see people happy, and I want to see people successful. And I want to pat people on the back when they make it. And if it's not for you, and if people come in and say, oh, I can't wait to have this job that I show up at 10 and knock off at 2, it's like, wait a second. Yes, flexible is very subjective. Like, that might mean you work every single Saturday, every single night. Right. At the very beginning, you might work 70 hours a week. And you know what? You put in the work, you get it out. Yeah. And frankly, back to the giving back. Yeah. I believe 100% that everything we give, we get back more than you can ever imagine. Whether that's helping others, whether that's, things in your community, making your own industry stronger. I believe that it affects you in ways that you never could even quantify.
I agree with you on that 100%. Yeah. 100%. When I started my practice, I remember the head coach of EOS, her advice to us was, you treat this like a blue collar until you don't have to.
Yeah.
So you are 8 hours a day doing the grind, right? You're networking, you're calling people, you're letting people know who you are and what you do, until that point where you're like, okay, I can probably relax on that a little bit. Yeah, so the flexibility part of it, is a little subjective, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's been times I've worked on a Saturday. I have a session on a Saturday because that's when my clients can meet. They can dedicate that time that I take with my clients, right? When I meet with my clients, it's a full day session. Like we hit it hard, right? And I joke about people and I say, we're going to take a picture at the beginning of the day and the end of the day just to see how much you guys learned and what it looks like on your face, right? So that's really fun.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because it's a lot of stuff, but I think just giving yourself over to your craft and becoming a master at it, right? And so what you've done with, with your daughter, she's going to know so much and be so much more prepared if and when she decides to take that leap. And she's learning from one of the best, right? And those type of things. And I think just understanding that, to say, if you're looking at becoming an entrepreneur, owning your own business, because it's your own thing, right? Nobody's there looking over you like, hey, Julie, you got to do these things today. But knowing that having a peer group is so important, so important, even if it is your competitors. EOS people are the same exact way. We have meetings, we come together every quarter. I have some here, I have some nationally. You have to have a peer group. You have to have some sort of support group for yourself as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
It's lonely at the top is what they say, right? But I think making sure that you have that, you have to have those things, a peer group, a networking group, a mastermind of some sort, so that you can talk through the things that you're doing as an entrepreneur, as a real estate agent, as a coach, whatever that looks like for you. So, okay, so Julie, tell us what's the best way for somebody to learn more about you, get in touch with you?
So my website is homesinEasternIdaho.com. So it's pretty easy. That's also my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Twitter. I don't do a lot with that, but or X, I guess. So yes.
All the things.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So if you're interested in becoming an agent, like I'm sure Julie will have obviously some amazing advice for you. She already gave you, a glimpse of all of the knowledge that she has here in her industry, which is amazing. So feel free to reach out to her. If you're interested in learning more about EOS, you can reach me at tractionwithtricia.com. Also my handle for all my social media, and it works really well. So today, man, we learned so much, a lot of information about the real estate world as it sits right now, especially right here in Southeast Idaho. Couple of tips and tricks if you're interested in selling your house. And just learning more about what really goes on behind the scenes to become a real estate agent and to remain someone who can be a top producer. So Julie was an amazing guest. So thank you again for being here. I'm Tricia Drake, EOS implementer and podcaster, and this is From Stuck to Scaling. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next episode.